quick video on Bitcoin. So what are we looking at? So been tracking the consolidation time period, okay, 220 days down here when we was in 2023, March 2023, all the way to October 2023, a long 6 months or so in that consolidation period, broke out, had another consolidation period of 70 days, and that leads us to our latest consolidation period, which started here in February, early March, and I've been tracking it, and it's again 220 days, right? The 220 days has passed. So 220 days took us to October the 5th, which is the same week that we've put in this low right here, this low that we sort of hit, that 50% level that I've got right there. Can you imagine that? Cool. So, you know, this is just speculation, right? All we can do is speculate on the charts. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's good to chart it out, and it's important to chart time, right? Time is more important than price, and that's why I track it. Cool. Now, the market is very bullish right now. There's a lot of people all talking. There's a lot of bullishness out there. A lot of people messaging and things like that. They're hella bullish, right? And that's all good. But remember, we really need to break this downtrend that we're in. Okay, this downtrend that we're in, this resistance line. I shouldn't say it's a downtrend, but because it depends on what time period you're looking at. But we need to break this. We need to sort of break this area. Where does that area lie? We really want to break, of course, the all-time high, right? Up here at 73.9, or let's call it 74K. And where we are sort of right now, or where Bitcoin will run into eventually, is 68,279. So we need to break that area first. So don't get too gassed. We need to really clear that. First signs will be breaking this area here, 68,279, right? And then breaking the 73. Hopefully holding that area as support, and then making our way up higher, where altcoins will most likely pump and Bitcoin dominance will drop. That's what we're hoping, right? That's what the bulls are hoping for. So that's that. That's the consolidation area. That's the time periods. Still got my 50% up here, which is the bear market low to the all-time high, which comes in at 44K. We could obviously draw out our sort of support lines here, which is like a microphone channel here. You know, Bitcoin, of course, can come down and touch these areas here if it wanted to. Could come back down, touch closer to the 50% if it needed to. And if I was to back out my fibs again, you know, I like to back out my fibs from this swing here. This is a significant swing. This one right here at January 2024, the start of the year. If I bring it to the high, stretch it out a little bit. You see this is where it comes to, and you know, I've been buying some Bitcoin down here at 50% in the 618. I've been buying, and we did hit those areas. That's fine. So that's all good. That's fine. And we're going to zoom in a little bit. And have a look at what's been going on and what I've been tracking, how I was able to make some of these trades, how I was able to make that 5x trade on Bitcoin, and what I was tracking. Yeah, so let's zoom in. So the 6-hour chart here, 6-hour chart, what I was tracking, let's put on my Levi strategy here. What I was tracking, okay, obviously was coming close to the 220 days, right? So I wanted to pay close attention to specific things. One of the things I did notice was that there was some bullish RSI divergence on the daily, I believe. I think there's some bullish RSI divergence on the daily, or is hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Basically, what we have here is a low in August, 5th of August, right here. That's the RSI right down here, relative strength index, and that's this low here, okay? And then we've got a low here, which conforms to this low here. It's the same low here, that same time period, which happened on the 23rd of June. And you can see price actually came quite a way down, but the RSI went higher, okay? Bullish RSI divergence, cool. So that's something that was of interest to me, especially since this volume here on this particular bar. This bar had a lot of volume on it, this low here. It came down to the 618, that 618 area that I just kind of showed. It went past 618, kicked people out, okay? All those people that had stops down there, wicked them out, and then pumped back up again, okay? And you can see on the daily, it closed above here, okay? The important thing is the close, right? The important part is the close, and it closed back inside this area, but high volume in comparison to everything else. That's why it was of interest. So we've got bullish RSI divergence, we've got the high volume area, and we're coming up to 220 days. We're not far from 220 days, and of course bullish October. So those are all things that I was looking at. Cool. Zooming in a little bit here. Let's remove some of this stuff because it can be a bit confusing. Let's get rid of my RSI for the moment. Let's get rid of the zags and let's keep on our Gantt swings. Okay, cool. Cool. So what I was tracking here was I was able to draw this resistance line here. Let's get my arrow. This resistance line here, right, that's coming down like that. I was able to draw it once we hit this area here, okay? We pumped down and we fell out of this support area. So it was a bit bearish. We had a retest. I didn't short this, but I did watch. That support line then turned into resistance, came back down, missed the 50%, okay? Missed the 50%, but came back up. This resistance line was still in play. That's when I knew it was definitely in play. Got hit a third time. Okay, I drew a resistance line down here, and obviously my 50% trade was hit here. Okay, it was hit here. If you know how I like to trade, I like to put my bids on the 50%, which came at 59.5, and on a 618, and I stagger my bets in, okay? Almost like a pyramid, like that, okay? Less money up here, more money down there. I didn't get to the 618 and get in the larger chunk of my funds in, but I got some of the 50%, so that's good enough for me. Broke out, resistance line again, still in play. I was still in my trade, held it, and what did we do? Get a breakout. And to be honest with you, I was confident that we would break out of this one because it's like the fourth hit. We was entering into October, past the 5th of October date, the 220 days. I mentioned before the bullish RSI divergence. It was just looking real strong, so I wasn't willing to exit my trade and enter a short from here. You know, there's too many touches of this resistance point. Broke through, and here we are today, right? Cool. That's where we are today. What is Bitcoin doing right now, right? What's it going to do right now? Well, I don't know. I'm not making any moves now, right? But all I can say is that resistance is resistance until it's not, and support is support until it's not, right? And we are very close to the areas I just outlined, right? How far are we away from the resistance point? We're like, what, 5% away? 5% away from these resistance point, and then up to the 74k or something like that. We've got about 15% or so. So not much room left not much meat left on the bone. Yeah, not much meat left on the bone. But if I was trading this and I was dying to get in, I still conform to my rules, right? So what I'll be doing is backing out my fib. First, I'll back it off on this swing here, okay? And because we've had quite a bit of a pump, I would be aiming for the 618. Personally, I'd be aiming for the 618, all right? Or at the very least, what I'd do is I'd be staggering my bets like this. That's where I'd stagger my bets, like that, okay? So maybe I'd enter on the 50% at 64,250, the 618 at 63,725, and then last on this down swooping trend line, which I would hope would act as support, okay? And then my larger chunk there, and then put my my stop loss down here, okay? And play that trade at least all the way up. So maximum that you can eat off of that chunk is about 9% profit, okay? 50x leverage, 10x leverage, you know, you can make a decent amount of change right there. So that's what I'd do if you wanted to go sort of long on it. Spot positions, I wouldn't be buying anything on spot here. I wouldn't be buying anything on spot. It is too close to the highs. I would most likely wait until Bitcoin has proven itself and gotten above this resistance line, and acted as support, came up and acted as support. Hopefully you get that chance and then take off, okay? That's something I'd prefer to do. I'd want to see confirmation rather than trying to play it so close to resistance. That's just not how I play. But you do you. So that's Bitcoin. Can it get a rejection right up here in October? You know, that will freak a lot of people out, right? If we was to get rejected here and come back down even to the 50% at 59.5, I think that'd be a bit fearful. And then even more so if it was to come back down all the way down to 48k or something at the bottom of this sort of trend area, or 51 and a half to 48. That'd be really bearish, shake a lot of people out. I don't think that's likely at this point, but still got to have it on your charts and you still got to plan for it, right? And that's all we can do. All we can do is say, if this happens, then do that. So it'd be interesting to hear where you lot's points of interest are, and your invalidation levels. That would be interesting to hear. So that's what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. I'll probably do a separate video for all the other alts. I'll just keep it Bitcoin for now. We are having a pullback. Obviously, it seems like ETH's getting hit slightly more than the altcoins, Bitcoin losing less value. But yesterday, if you noticed, Bitcoin and ETH was leading the way. Bitcoin was leading the way, and then ETH wasn't far behind, and then the altcoins were far behind, wasn't far behind ETH. And that's the kind of rally that I wanted to see. That makes me believe that it's a bit more healthier when it does it this way. So I'm starting to feel a bit confident that if any time it's going to break out of this downward resistance, this downward sloping trend line, it's going to be sometime in October, potentially November. But Q3 shaping up to be quite interesting. Let's see how it goes. So let's see how that goes. That's Bitcoin. Oh, USDT dominance. If you know me as well, I've been tracking this USDT dominance. And we are now coming into support on the USDT dominance, so be careful of that. My previous video, you know what? All I did, right, yeah, and this is another reason why I entered that trade. This is why I entered that trade. Right here, simple. We came down to support, yeah? Okay, so the idea is that, it's not even the idea, it's what's been happening. Anytime we've been hitting at the top of the trend line and we come back down, crypto has been pumping because people are leaving USDT and they are going into other assets, whether that's it's more likely to be crypto, of course, but people could also be leaving USD to go into fiat currency, right? Pounds, dollars, or whatever, what have you, right? It's just USDT's dominance. USDT is a stable coin. And then when we hit support and we've been going up, people have been leaving whatever they're in, mainly crypto, and going back into USDT, right? Cool. So everyone's expecting October to be bullish. I didn't expect down here, September the 28th, to come down here and just to break through. I didn't expect that. I expected a bounce, okay? I expected a bounce. And so all I did is backed out my fibs again, right? From the top to the bottom. What do you know? 50% rejection. 50% rejection right here. Look at that. Rejected, came back down, came back up again, rejected, double top drop. Cool. So that's what gave me the confidence to enter that long trade. That's it. Just finding confluence with many different charts. Now we're entering support again, right? Everyone's bullish. And because everyone's bullish, what we want to see is this breakthrough. That's what we want to see, this breakthrough. Finally, that trend breakthrough, because we haven't broken it ever since 12th of March 2024, this year. Okay, we've been in this rising microphone channel, which is typically bearish. So what do we do again? We're going to back out our fibs again, right? Of course, we can back out our fibs on this swing right here. Okay, so if you did want to enter a trade, whatever crypto it is, maybe you might want to wait for the USDT dominance to hit 5.48%. It might not do it. Remember, these things aren't guaranteed. So you got to be okay with that, right? You got to be okay with not being able to get into your positions. But at the very minimum, that's what I'd be waiting for. Okay, if I didn't know what chart to be looking at, or I was looking at a bunch of memes, or I was looking at a bunch of different tokens, I would wait for 5.48% at the least to get hit. And the larger swing, this one here, and bring that down. Let's have a look at that 50%. That's 5.61% and 5.68%, right? And then you pyramid in. So maybe you pyramid in like this, right? Think of it that way, okay? Enter a little bit of the market here, enter more there, and enter the most that you have up here, and hope, and then have your invalidation areas, right? If it breaks past this invalidation, get out. Get out. You know, and that's the way to play it. That's the way to play it. But then again, you know, what do I know? Have a good day.